Good afternoon. Welcome to the East Long Meadow Board of Assessors meeting of Tuesday, August 15th. In accordance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 20, we need to inquire if anyone else is taping this meeting other than LCAT and ourselves for the purposes of our minutes. That would be no one. Okay. The first item before we start the administrative portion of our agenda is to review the minutes of July 20th. Mr. Johnson.
I have reviewed the minutes as to form and content and find them to be in order, and I move that they be accepted.
Second that.
Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We have no appointments scheduled this evening, so administratively, we have certain reports that we must sign so that they would be filed with the proper offices, being it the accountant or the Department of Revenue. The first one is the motor vehicle excise report, both considered 2016 and 2017. Is this the grand total on this side?
Yes, it is.
Grand total being $4,461.15. The next we have the Community Preservation Surcharge Report for fiscal year 2017, which goes to the Division of Local Services.
This is a joint sign-off. The town accountant and the Board of Assessors both sign off. I just have it for the Board of Assessors at the present time.
Okay.
I have the information put into Gateway, just waiting for the Board of Assessors approval.
Okay.
Trying to get this done ahead of time, knowing that we're going to be getting a little bit busier with the recertification. It is due by September 15th.
Good idea.
I did put the additional documentation on your computer that
Yes, I saw
made
that.
up those numbers,
Yeah.
just in case if anyone
Okay,
needed.
next on the agenda is the building permit report for July.
So we just changed our report around a little bit. We've been trying to decrease the amount of codes to put in, and we're finding that we can get some of them more grouped into the same code, and we have a comment section on the last column. So if you see minimal alt, you'll know what the
Yes.
new
it's-
construction would be.
It's helpful to have the notes.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, insulation's insulation, we don't need anything else, but when we have something that's a little up in the air, or even pools, you can see if it's in ground, the sizes, etc. So
yeah.
you'll notice.
Not as many solar.
For solar.
You know, I was reading in Consumer Report, and that was one of the things they mentioned at school this past week. I had read it prior to going up to UMass, but that the solar shingles now for roofing are the next best
Right.
thing.
You can do a whole roof with just for the shingles.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, and you can, I guess that some of them have a battery that you can store some of the, but they're more expensive, but they,
Yeah.
according to our teacher at UMass, he said within 2 or 3 years, the prices will be comparable to what you pay for a new roof now.
Right. No more arrays, just shingles.
Exactly.
Yeah. They'll look way better too.
Yes, they are.
So there was one new dwelling and one new condo on
I see that.
this list.
Yeah.
So we have 12 new residents year to date through July.
12 for this year?
Yes, from January.
Oh, okay. Any comments on the building permits?
Nope.
No?
Okay, we'll move on. Next is the LA3 sales report for the month of July.
A lot below 1, that's for sure, huh?
Yeah,
Actually, the second page below 9.
yeah, and I see the 82 86, 88, but we decided we would look at those for the
Next year.
interim for next year.
I believe that
Because it is after the time allowed anyway by the Commonwealth.
the 1.09, I would deem that as not a good sale.
First page or second? I'm
First
sorry.
page.
This page. Oh, that's been on and off the market for years, hasn't it?
Yeah, but it was
Um,
something to do with that transfer.
Oh, okay.
I just, if you were aware, I did send out a note saying that some of them were, I hadn't had a chance to proof it because I was at UMass
That's
most of the
right.
week. And I did go in and make many changes. That one should also be on the spreadsheet that I created. I think I did it as a not on MLS.
Yeah,
So-
it wasn't, but it was still stuff to go with it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
About it, I mean.
Yeah. Well, we're just keeping an eye on what the sales are doing.
Yeah.
We definitely want to watch it, although sales in August of 2017 don't affect the valuations. Last year's sales that we used the base.
Right.
Correct.
We got some solid .88s and 86s. Amazing, huh?
Yeah, even some 8.2s.
Especially a high-end one.
Yeah.
And the basing it against the current value is the newest values as we're trying to get ready for certification.
Okay. Okay, so they're not the 2017 values, they're the proposed.
Proposed 2018, and they're still low.
Yeah.
And the one on the second page, the first .82, boy, that's, I don't know. Never, no one in their word ever saw that one coming.
Ooh, no.
I know the property.
Was there a lot of work done on that without permits or something?
It's just, I don't know. Someone overpaid a lot of money, that's all,
Wow. Yeah,
in my mind, that's
Yeah.
all. It's a normal sale, but good Lord.
yeah. Okay, any further comments or discussion on the LA3 report? Hearing none, we'll move on to the director's update.
On your computer, you do have my update. The top is the planning board decisions that were received. A couple site plan approvals, home offices, etc. Don't know if anyone has any questions on them. I just have seen the actual decisions.
Item number 3, that combining of the lots,
Mhm.
is that the one that comes off of Deer Park Drive?
No, that comes off of Denslow.
Off of
That is
Denslow?
where the proposed solar farm will
Okay,
be.
so it goes hand in hand with number 4.
Yes,
Okay.
yes it does. We are working on our Chapter 61A inspections. As the board is well aware, I am currently visiting all of the properties with 61A designations, and Bill has been phenomenal in walking through the high grass with me and doing some reviews. And as the board is aware that we have a few more, and I know that you've each committed to accompanying me to these inspections, so we hopefully will have them all done this week. We might have 1 or 2 more carry over into the next week. We're finding most people are doing what they have been approved by
Good.
from their applications, so, and I think it's giving us a really good opportunity to just touch base with our farmers and letting them know that, you know, we're willing to support these endeavors because it's good for the town, and also it's wonderful to see that they're doing what they have committed to, absolutely. Our FY18 reevaluation, our consultant did take last week off, bringing his daughter to college, and so we are pretty close to finishing up with the residential values and cost tables. We're going to be starting on the commercial and industrial. Right now we're doing a review of the income and expense forms that were sent out and received by our commercial industrial property owners. And the last step will be personal property, and we're just finishing up with the last few of the inspections and entering information. So
Have question on the INEs. Do you have any idea what the percentage of the response was this year? Was it any better, or was it about the same?
We have seen a little bit better of a response when people see that they do get fined a penalty fee of $250, but we're finding that those are also the same people who are owner occupied, and when they realize they just had to submit the form.
Mm-hmm.
So I will have a better idea once we are done of the amount. Yeah. We received a lot. Can I tell you if the data was any help to us?
Oh, I'm not questioning the data was good, just
Yeah.
whether we had a better response. Because
Yeah, that's one of our directives
Exactly.
by DOR to have a
Exactly.
better response prior to our certification. The Vision V8, which is version 8 update, again, they have had more information coming out. I did put it in your packet. Regarding smaller communities versus larger communities. They might be going on a tier scale. I just haven't had an opportunity to follow up since that came out. Again, I was at UMass Summer School last week, so I was not in the office most of the week. I'm still will be reviewing, and I'm not in any rush. I need to get through our recertification before I can take any more steps considering.
Yeah, I did speak to someone who was converting, another assessor who's converting to Vision, and they're putting in version 6.5 with the idea that sometime in 2018 they would be upgraded to the version 8. So we'll see how it all works out. I think they've had enough response from different assessors that they're responding to it at least.
We did receive our small business listing from the Department of Unemployment Assistance. That list is what is used when we are putting together our classification workshop to determine, to provide information to now our town council if a small commercial exemption is beneficial for the town. Granted, I won't be starting that, reviewing that for a while until our commercial industrial values have been pulled together for fiscal 18. Did attend UMass last week. I attended for 3 days. I did evaluating residential construction, effective year and estimating depreciation. I did go up to the instructor, and I told him my goal before I left this class was I had a couple questions regarding total remodels and how we can get that effective year to be reflective of what is there. I know how to do that, but I want to figure out how to get it comfortably into our mass appraisal system and have it actually depreciate. And he said, contact your vendor.
Oh, okay.
I was like, well, that was but naturally it was an interesting class. And Gary McCabe gave a class on the IAAO International Property Measurement Standards, which is supposedly a standard that appraisers, assessors, all over the country will be using in the future. We're really using standard 1 right now, which is exterior measurements,
Right.
but then they have like 2 and 3, which would be interior measurements, and it's not going to be effective for someone doing a mass appraisal to try to do interior measurements, because if you can't get into every single home, then you're
Right.
getting skewed data, and it's not fair and equitable
Yeah.
assessments.
Although we're supposed to use interior for condominiums, attached,
For appraisal or
For
assessing?
appraisers.
appraisers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We discussed doing condominiums in the common walls, so again, being that we don't do interior measurements, we do exterior
Right.
as our standard. So it was informative. I can't say that I'm going to be using it, but if the MAAO and the Mass DOR start saying this is the new guideline,
Standard,
then
yeah.
we would have to, but.
Usually the mass plan for a condo project is the interior anyways,
You're absolutely right.
from the
yeah.
deeds.
Yeah.
I unfortunately do not have all of them for
So-
all of our condos, and
Yeah.
can't find them.
Or Elmcrest doesn't always match the deed.
That's
Floor
correct.
plan also, so.
That is correct. I'm just keeping our reevaluation work plan tentative dates, just so it's always in our mind. We do have some meetings coming up. We just received the clerk's meeting for the September 28th. The What's New in Municipal Law is now out there. Fall conference, I'm aware, is coming up for the MAAO. So there is What's New in Municipal Law. I am unsure how the municipal finance director is approving all board members or a couple board members or no board members for the class or the seminar. But if you do have an interest, I would need for you to let me know, and I need to get approval for anyone to be attending. And I will inquire if you do have an interest. I know in the past the board has gone. I have explained to both our municipal finance director and our town manager when we were discussing education that although the Board of Assessors may be an advisory board, they still have statutory requirements that they need to follow, and they still need the education in order to make wise decisions when items are put before them. So.
Yeah. Okay,
So that's what I have.
that's what you have,
Mhm.
all right. The next item you made us aware of was the new guidelines, the informational guideline releases for the veterans exemptions,
Great.
clause 22D and 22F. I believe you gave each one of us copies.
I did for your leisure reading.
Thank you very much. Yeah, for our leisure reading. Okay. Is there any old business or new business?
Nope.
No. Then I'm going to move that we go into executive session for the purposes of receiving an update from our director on appellate tax board appeal that has been filed. And we will come out of executive session simply to adjourn and that will be it.
Yeah. Roll call?
Roll call vote. Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Grudgeon?
Yes.
Christine Sonia, yes.